Once again, if you've enjoyed all of the training, I want you to go below the video right now and get signed up. I want to be able to work with you more. I know that we're going to get results together. So if you're enjoying the training, get signed up below. You'll see below the video, there's all the information you need to get signed up and get going, but please do so. In this video, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about. It's pretty simple. We're going to talk about the ins and outs of search engines and why they're so important for organic traffic and revenue. And as you see what's already listed on the screen, you know, businesses have one thing in common for survival. And it's simple. It's traffic. It's targeted traffic. And that's what they need. That's why people pay prime real estate, because of the traffic there. You know, people want to be across from the Apple store, in the mall, or beside the Apple store, because they know it gets a tremendous amount of traffic. But you know, online businesses and brick and mortar, if they want to scale and pass their competitors, that's what they need to have, is more targeted traffic. That's what it all comes down to. And you know, there's been a massive shift in the last decade of how local businesses are getting more visibility and targeted traffic. And it's changed so much, because here's what it looked like 10 years ago. How many of you remember these? A phone book. You know, I can remember that my dad would tell me to go look up a number when I was younger. You know, hey, Cotton, go look up this person's number and write it down and bring it to me. And I would do that. And that's something that I would do for my dad when I was younger. Businesses paid a lot of money for the yellow pages. They put large ads in there, spent as money as $2,500 a month, would sign a contract, a lot of money. But that was a decade ago. This is what it looks like today. Present day, everyone's pulling out their mobile devices and they're tapping in information, whether they've got a windshield that's broken, whether they need a tow truck, whether they're looking for the best Chinese food to eat, whether they're looking for Thai or the best steak restaurant, or even looking for a place to grab some drinks. People are opening up Google and they're searching. You know, it's not even that. If people are at the movies, they're even searching, who is this actor? What's this movie? I know they were in this one. They search and they get it. This is a device right now that everyone's doing. The way of the phone book or the yellow pages is like a dinosaur. This is where it's at. This is where people search for businesses. And, you know, present day, people are using their mobile devices and home computers to find new doctors, new dentists, plumbers, lawyers, mechanics, restaurants, and lawn care. And, you know, look, Google just passed Apple to become the most valuable company in the world. And it's no shock that these things go hand in hand. One is the hardware, the other one is almost the software. You know, you need that Apple device to access Google. And that's what's crazy, is they even work hand in hand. You know, Forbes says that the local business has a challenge for search engine optimization, because when you have a local business, simply, if you're a good fencer, that's what you're good at, building fences. You're not good at being a marketer and driving people into your business. So what do? Either you're good at both or you suffer. And that's why it's a challenge for businesses, and why this free organic traffic is so powerful for these local businesses. You know, when we look at the global snapshot of people that are using the internet and mobile devices, you know, there's 7.3 billion people. And internet users, that's over 46% of the population of internet users. And, you know, that's incredible considering third world countries that don't even have access to the internet, computers, and other places. Active social media users, 2.3 billion. That's over a third of the population. Unique mobile users, we are looking at 3.7 billion. That's over 51% of the population is a mobile user. Active mobile social users, we're looking at 27% of the population, 1.9 billion. These are massive numbers. And they're so massive is that the forecast says that SEO, or free organic traffic related spending, will be worth $80 billion by the year 2020. But you know, I know what all you thinking, what does this have to do with me? How does this happen for me? How can I take advantage of this free traffic and make and monetize off of it? Well, you know, let's take a deeper look inside of Google and let's find out exactly how this works and how this money is so important and why it's so important to be visible in the search engines and get this organic traffic. You know, a search engine normally looks like this, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to type in Orlando plumber. Let's say that I've got a leaky sink or I've got a toilet that isn't working. And so I want to search for someone in the Orlando, Florida area that's a plumber. And this is generally what it's going to look like in the search engines. And, you know, I'm going to look down a little bit, and I've got Orlando plumber in there. And you know what? I'm not going to go with the first one because I just like the name Sunshine Plumbing. And I want to give them a call and find out what some of the rates are and find out how fast they can get over here to fix my toilet. But the only problem with this page is I want you to look. It's on page 3. Nobody looks on page 3. Everyone stays on page 1. So what's happening is Sunshine Plumbing is probably not getting any business. Maybe they're not even in business now. But I know they're hurting, and I know their competitors are literally kicking their ass because they're on page 1 and they're moving ahead of them every day by generating phone calls, by people giving them more business. So the question is, just how much money is that single Orlando plumber losing to their competitors by being on page 3? Well, I've already done all the research for you. I've went into Google Keyword Planner, and I've already got several plumbing clients. So I'm just going to give you a rough breakdown of how much money they're losing by not being visible in the search engines. They lost 1,600 searches in the Orlando area. Of those 1,600 searches, that's a possible, on a very conservative level, 100 new clients. At a very conservative $300 per job, they're losing $30,000 a month. That is almost $250,000 a year. They're losing out to their business by not being visible in the search engines. And, you know, even myself, I walk the walk, talk the talk. How do I generate, you know, I was my first client. When I first started out in organic traffic and search engines, I took myself on as a client, and this is what happened. I was able to, you know, go after one of the largest cities in the United States, and that's gets the most traffic for that keyword, businesses looking for search engine optimization. And as you can see, I'm number 1 right there in Chicago. And this is, you know, walking the walk. But not only that, I went ahead and I went for the largest city in the world, Tokyo SEO. And you can see that I'm number 1 for Tokyo. But not only that, I'm also number 1 in Google JP, which is Google Japan. So these are things that I want you to think about that is so powerful. And I get clients from Tokyo. I get clients from any place that I want because I'm pushing this organic traffic back over to me. So when you think about that, it's incredibly, incredibly powerful. And what I want you to look at is this is what happens when you have the visibility and a number 1 position in Google. You see, when you control traffic, you control money. And it's incredible. Some of these clicks that are out there, if you do paid advertising, can be over $100 per click. That's not even to buy anything. So what I really want to do is the question that you're asking is, well, how do businesses get visible, and how does Google determine who takes that number 1 position? And I'm just going to bring up another slide right here, and we're going to bring this up, and this is going to be pretty fun. I'm going to do a lot of analogies right now and just kind of explaining how search engines work, especially Google and Bing and Yahoo, the main ones. This is how they work. You know, there's a really good-looking girl. Her name is Josephine. And Josephine has her eye on 2 really, really cool guys who are super attractive, Joe and Steven. So the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to, you know, do a little bit of background check and, you know, see what's up with Joe. So she focuses on Joe. Now, what she does is she wants to look at the people that Joe surrounds himself with, his friends that make up who Joe is, because you always say, you know, you kind of are who you hang out with. So, you know, when we look at this, all of these friends are associated with Joe, and she looks at him and kind of tries to determine, is this a guy that I want to date? So what Josephine does is she did her investigative work of not only him, but his friends, and she gives a grade of all of Joe's friends on a scale of 1 to 100 on how popular and important they are. So the first one of his friends is a 15. The other one is an 11. The other one is a 19. The other one is a 21. And his most popular friend is a 29. So if these are all 0 to 100 on the popularity and trusted and important scale, this makes an average Joe. So chances are she's really not looking for something average. So now she has her sights set on Steven. And man, Steven is super, super sexy. And also, he likes Batman. It's real important. So she does the same thing. She really wants to look at what's going on with Steven, and she digs in, does some background work, and now she wants to look at his friends and how cool are his friends and what are they on a scale of 1 to 100. So all of these friends, she digs up, looks at all because they're all associated with him. And when we look at this, she gets a very surprising answer. So the very first one, as she sees it, you know that Steven actually has some girls that like him. And she looks and he has a 38 out of a 100 for the first one that she looks at. Well, she also finds out that Steven has Ant-Man as a friend. Well, Ant-Man's super cool. He's a 72 out of a 100. Then she looks at the other friend. He's a 29. He's friends with Wonder Woman. That's a 99 out of a 100. But he's also friends with Tony Stark, Iron Man, which gives him a 100. Then he's got his friend, you know, he's a 9. So what happens is when we look at the popularity of everyone that Joe surrounds himself with, who his friends are, that would automatically tell us that Steven is a very popular guy. So he ends up being the winner of Josephine's heart. So when you think about search engines like that, this is exactly how Google looks at websites. So when we take a site like cottongrammar.com, and when it first started out, it wasn't very popular. But what happened is these are some of my friends. So I have places like Inc.com talking about me. I have this average girl that's talking about me. I've got Twitter that's talking about me. I've got Instagram. I've got Forbes that is talking about me. I've got an average friend. I've got Huffington Post that's talking about me. Then I've got Facebook. So when I look at this, you know, when we look at search engines and websites, there are earned links and there are created links. That's what it's about. So when we look at this, Facebook right here, that is a created link. Anyone can go in and they can create a link on Facebook. Anyone can create a link on Twitter, on Instagram, and any one of these friends can create a link talking about me. But here's where it gets real important with search engines. You can't just go in and create a link coming back to my site talking about me, about Huffington Post, or about Forbes, or about Inc. You have to earn those. These are news publications that you have to earn being talked about. And so earned links always have more weight, more trust, and more power in Google than a created link. So the more important websites that you have talking about you, the further that you rise in the search engines. And I will give you another little brief example when I bring up another slide in one moment. And I wanted to bring up another slide to just kind of better explain what search engine optimization is. I don't need you to really see that. That's an icon of a website, kind of like a website emoji. So what happens is if you really want to get a website going, then you go out and, as I told you before, you build all of these great friends that are talking about them. And these are created links that are coming back in there. So when you have these, you want these talking about you. And each one of these websites lets you put a link back to your own website. What trust comes in. Then another thing that Google really looks for and search engines do is traffic. How many people are coming into your site? And if you want to work with me on the advanced stuff, and you can do that by clicking below, filling out the information below, I show you how to get traffic to your website, because Google looks at, hey, if you're popular, you got people coming to you, right? Then we also look at different websites that are linked in there and things that are here and all sorts of different things coming in. But ultimately, what it is that this is how search engines work. It's how they work, and it's how Google looks at things. And man, I can tell you this, with an industry that's getting ready to do $80 billion and how simple it is to create this organic traffic, it's crazy not to take advantage of it. So once again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but if you want the opportunity to be able to help businesses like this, to stop losing money, and if you want to work with me in deeper depth, right below the video, get registered, get things filled out. I'd love to be able to work with you and get your business off the ground, where you can have businesses paying you a lot of money for this free organic traffic. So get signed up below. I'm excited to do another few videos for you, and I hope you're loving this boot camp as much as I am doing it, and that your mind's kind of opening up about the possibility of how powerful these search engines can really be and help you as well as help other businesses. And it's just exciting. Once again, fill out below. Love to be able to work with you.